this is the male reproductive system. Here we have the testicles where we produce the spermatozoids. If we cut the testicle, we can see here how the tubes start right here. This is going to be the seminiferous tubules, right? You can see here, seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules are coiled, going like this, right? And this is going to be one lobule right there. This is going to be another lobule right here, like that, okay? But they are going to end on this part that is painted in yellow. So this part right here is going to be called the retitestis. From the retitestis, the tube will continue right here into the epididymis. That's the head of the epididymis. This is the tail of the epididymis right there. And that comes out of the testicle basically and goes up right here into this part right here. That is this part right here. That, same thing as this part right here. Same thing as this part right here. Okay, this is going to be the spermatic core right there. Where do we create the spermatozoids? In the seminiferous tubules. From the seminiferous tubules, what happens? They will continue into the retitestis. From the retitestis into the epididymis. From the epididymis, it will go down up in here. It will continue into the vas deferens or ductus deferens, as you can see right here. And the ductus deferens or vas deferens will go inside the spermatic cord in order to go inside the body. Right here, so this is the bridge that takes basically the spermatozoids into the body, right? So this is the body right there. But what do we find in the spermatic cord? Then we're going to have the ductus deferens, this one that I painted right there in black. But in addition to that, obviously, what's the testicle made of? It's going to be made of cells, right? Even the spermatozoids are cells. If we want to have cells in there, then these cells are going to need blood, right? Because the blood is going to give them oxygen, nutrients, and all those things. So we are going to have blood vessels in the spermatic cord, such as arteries and veins. Now, the reason why the testicle is not actually inside the body is because the spermatozoids need to be maintaining a certain temperature. The temperature of the body is too high for the spermatozoids. So therefore, that's the reason why here we have a muscle, which is going to be called the cremaster muscle right here. So then why do we need a muscle in there? Because we need to move the testicles up and down in order to maintain the temperature in the testicle stable. And what else? Nerves. That's what you have right here in the spermatic cord. Okay. So we create the spermatozoids in here. They twist and turn right there. Epididymis. Now you have in here the ductus deferens. So it goes up. The ductus deferens basically goes around and to the back of the urinary bladder and it merges with the duct that comes from this gland right here. And from here, it continues inside there into the urethra. And from the urethra, it comes out right here. So what comes out right here is going to be called semen. Right? And what semen contains? Spermatozoids plus fluid. The fluid comes from this gland right there, the prostate, from this gland right here, the seminal vesicle, and from this gland right here called, right here, the bulbourethral gland. And right here, we're going to have the last part of it is going to be the urethra. The urethra is going to be located inside this structure called the penis. Now, the penis is going to have these three structures right here. It's going to have this one, and this one, and this one. So this one is corpus cavernosum. This one is corpus spongiosum. So then what are they going to be? They're going to be like sponges, right? So then what you're going to put in there is blood. Blood is a fluid, right? So you put a lot of blood in there, then that's going to provide pressure to the penis. And because of that, the penis will become rigid. Okay, so then if we keep scrolling down right here, you can clearly see the glands. Right here, you have the seminal vesicle, the prostate, and here the bulbourethral glands right there. Here is the testicle. This is the ductus deferens. Remember, it goes around this and goes in the back right there. And it goes in here like that. So then if we keep scrolling down, now we go to the female reproductive system. So then these are the internal organs in the female reproductive system. You can see that we're going to have the vagina, the uterus, fallopian tube, and ovary. The uterus is going to have three layers: endometrium, myometrium, perimetrium. The top part of uterus, this part right here, is going to be called the fundus. And the beginning of it, this part right here, is going to be called the cervix. So then the fallopian tube or the uterine tube, this one right here, also is going to have three different areas. You're going to have the isthmus, ampulla, infundibulum, and the very end right here, these finger-like extensions are going to be the fimbriae. Now, the ovaries going to be right here, and you ladies are going to have two, right? One on each side. Okay, the job of the ovaries is to release the egg. The job of these finger-like extensions is to capture the egg in order to be transported right here into the uterus right there. Ligaments will keep this structure in place. So what ligaments do we have? We have, for example, the ovarian ligament, right? Then we have the mesometrium right here. You have the uterosacral ligament. You have the round ligament right here. And these ligaments are very important because they're going to keep these organs in place. Okay, so right here, you have the same organs that I showed you right there before, but in this case, obviously, you have a lateral view of that, right? This is basically identical to this, where you have the vagina, you have in here the uterus, and you can see here the uterine tube and the ovary right here. Okay, very good. So then let's keep it going. Now, these are the internal organs in the female reproductive system. Now, you can see here that the female reproductive system also has external structures that belong to the female reproductive system, which are going to be these ones right here. Okay, female reproductive system, which you see right here again, right? This is the mons pubis right there. Right? And all this is called the vestibule. Right there in the vestibule, you can see in there that you have the clitoris right here, the labia majora, labia minora, the entrance to the vagina right there. And right here, all these areas is going to be the mons pubis. Also part of the female reproductive system is going to be the mammary glands, right? The breast, where you can see in there that you're going to have glands, like different sinuses right here. And also there's going to be a lot of fat in there as well. But on the outside, you're going to see that you have the areola and the nipple right there. So if we keep moving right here, you have cell division, meiosis. How many cells do we use to have babies? Only 2. Males provide spermatozoids, females provide eggs. That's it. These are the only 2 cells that go through meiosis. What's the job of meiosis? To make different. How come you don't look identical to your sister if you come from the same father and the same mother? Well, the reason for that is because of meiosis. You see this chromosome is blue and this chromosome is red right there? During meiosis, what's going to happen is that they're going to cross. You see they're crossing right there? The reason why they cross is because they're going to exchange pieces of the genetic material. So you see that they're exchanging right there. And if you follow from here to here, you see now the blue has a piece of that is going to be red, and the red has a piece that is going to be blue. So then they are mixing in there. That is going to be called crossing over. Independent assortment and crossing over. And these are the reasons why during meiosis, you want to have different, right? The reason why we get different is because of this. Crossing over is what I show you right here. Independent assortment, right? The chromosomes are not going to be aligned the same way all the time. So because of that reason, then obviously the crossing is going to be different. This was cell A, then this was cell A, and this is cell A. This is mitosis. The case of meiosis, cut this twice. If you cut it twice, you're going to get 4. So you do the first cut right there. You get 2 cells in here. Now you cut this one in here like this, and that's how you get these 4 cells right there. They're going to have half of the genetic material. Histology of the reproductive system. We look at the testicle. We said this is going to be the seminiferous tubules. The walls are where the cells that are going to make the spermatozoids are going to be located. This is meiosis right there. So then let's keep going right here. In this case, you have the testicle again, but they are showing you the epididymis, and right here you can clearly see there are a whole bunch of spermatozoids. Right? You can see the spermatozoid where you see the head right there, and you can see the flagella. Okay, so then we keep scrolling down. Now let's take a look at the females, and we're going to have here the ovary, right? And in there you're going to have the ovules right here. So then you have 2 colors in there. You have the outside and you have the inside. You can see here, right? There's always a red on the inside, right? And the black one is always on the outside. So this is what happens to the first 14 days. Day 15, you ovulate. But when you ovulate, you have to pay attention that the black part remains in there. And the only thing that you ovulate is going to be the red that was in the middle. This is this. This is what eventually will turn into the baby if the female becomes pregnant. Okay, but what happens with the black cells in there? These black cells right here are the ones that are going to turn into this structure right here. Now, this is going to be the corpus luteum. The corpus luteum eventually dies. It's going to turn into the corpus albicans. I told you this happens in the first 14 days. This one is ovulation during day 15, more or less. And this one right here is going to happen during the last 15 days. So this is going to be more or less like 30 days right there. Now, the red cells and the black cells together, they're going to be called the follicle. The red one is going to be the ovule. And the black are going to be called, they're called the follicular cells. Meiosis, 4 cells. But in the case of females, that doesn't happen. So here comes first division like that. This cell dies. This cell right here is the one that you ovulate right here. And the second division happens only if this ovule in here finds an spermatozoid. If he finds an spermatozoid and gets fecundated, that's when the second division happens. This one will die, second polar body. And this one, now that it contains the spermatozoid, this one is going to be the baby. So we scroll down right here. This figure right here, this is looking at this at the microscope. You see how these ones have different sizes? You see this one, and then this one is a little bit larger, This. So this thing right here is this thing right here. This. We are going to eliminate the red cells right here as the ovule. The black cells remain there. They're going to form the corpus luteum, this one right there. This part right here is what you see right here. This is the corpus luteum. This is also the corpus luteum. Right here is corpus albicans when it dies. This produces hormones, in particular estrogen. Corpus luteum produces progesterone. This hormone is the one that you have during the first 14 days of the month. This is the one that you have during the last 14 days of the month.